Where would you direct people to follow up on what you said to get some information? Like, where have you been calling your Russia stuff?
It's not hidden. You just have to be willing to find it. Like, my sources on Russia stuff are literally like the Associated Press and Reuters and British newspapers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not hidden stuff. You just have to be willing to pay attention to it.
Perfect. Okay, good.
3 stories. The entire continent of Africa, which I think is pretty important. Beyond what's happening in Zimbabwe, I think it's still a wildly underreported story. New Orleans, which still continues to be the entire Gulf Coast region. And my personal pet peeve issue is that there's still a hole at the south end of this island.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about 9/11, we talk a lot about Afghanistan, we talk all kinds of about Iraq, and we still have a gaping hole on the south end of Manhattan. And I want to hear the presidential candidate specifically. Wow.
It's okay, Paul. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
Protect me from the evil one. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm stopping there. Go ahead.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Which part?
I don't know why I went there. I just sad as that is. Audience. Front row. The gentleman right there. Yes, Bernard, you go.
I just wanted to go back to Afghanistan for a quick sec. I may be one of those liberals who's a sucker for the hawkish talk, but Senator Obama has been talking about Pakistan for a year, and he kind of got hammered for it. I feel like he's talking to some of the smarter thinkers out there on the subject. So when I think about Afghanistan, I think about taking out in Pakistan the people and the organizations responsible for 9/11 and responsible for any potential future attack. Are you against that completely? Are you anti-war, or is it more that you don't really think there's value in going in and taking out kind of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda? Because I thought I heard that when you were speaking earlier.
No, I'm not anti-war, and I'm not against using force against terrorist networks by any means. That said, I want our military to be used, as I said before, I want them to have a mission that is accomplishable through military means. I don't want to use our military as the go-to agency for things that our government wants done, even though they're not military functions. The fact that our National Guard is now our Border Patrol because our Border Patrol did a bad job, that's a stupid thing for the National Guard to be doing. The fact that the National Guard literally is still deployed in New Orleans because the government response to New Orleans was so anemic that they looked around for something that seemed competent and decided to deploy in a permanent sense both guardsmen and reservists. That's a misuse of the military, not because it's an insult to them, but because it's not what they're for. The military is to fight and win wars. And so when we go to war, I want our military to be used for that purpose, and I want the mission that they're asked to sacrifice for to be worthy of that sacrifice. So I believe in treating veterans well, I believe in treating troops well, I believe in treating troops' families well, I believe in the use of military force for our national aims, I believe in public service and national service, but I believe that it is a disservice to the people who would personally make that sacrifice when we are cavalier with their lives or when we lie about what they're doing, about why it is they're doing what they're doing. So for Pakistan and Afghanistan, I am not against the idea of using military force if there's a military mission. But if the military mission in Afghanistan is strengthen Hamid Karzai, I actually think that a deployment of US troops doesn't get us toward that. I think that having a foreign occupying army in any country tends to undermine the authority of the government in that country. And so if the idea is that we don't want a failed state, I'm not sure that troops is the way to do it. I want to hear the argument for what our troops are doing and whether their mission is military.
You'd never think that the liberal Air America host would be the hawk, right? And that the vet would be the dove, right? Isn't that strange? No, I think that there are legitimate targets. But the thing that I appreciated, having been on the ground and having spent time in the military, is that every military decision has to go through a cost-benefit analysis. You have to weigh the downside to any military operation. So you've got a high-value target. Let's say it's bin Laden. How many civilians are we willing to take out in order to get bin Laden? Is 50,000 okay? Is 100,000 okay? Is 200,000 okay? If we know he's somewhere, can we drop a nuke on him? I mean, you have to take those, the collateral damage, and I hate to use that term, but but the other factors into account. And it would be nice to say, okay, we know where bin Laden is, we know here he is in Pakistan, we're going to drop a bomb and take him out. But what political implications does that have to the region, to Pakistan, to Afghanistan, to Iraq, to Iran? I mean, we've kind of become desensitized in this country, and we've never really felt pain of war like the Europeans have, like other folks have, with the exception of 9/11. I mean, we haven't been hit home. So I think we have this detachment that allows us to say, yeah, just make it a parking lot. You know, not really fully understand the blowback potential and understand the overflow potential that exists when you decide to take someone out. So I do support the operations in Afghanistan. I think it makes sense strategically. I think it makes sense politically. But I really push back against the tunnel vision that's started to develop now, even around Afghanistan.
We have to wrap it up. I just want to ask one quick question. Are you hopeful?
Am I hopeful politically?
Just in general. Does the path that we're on, does the change, does 2009, does all of this stuff make you feel like, yeah, there's going to be a new way? I look happy towards life. I'm asking you.
Don't ask me. I'm glass really empty. No, I am cautiously optimistic, but counting myself with the head with my shoe to calm myself down from that, because I don't want to raise my own expectations. I am not a Barack Obama fan. I am not a John McCain fan either. But I am, it matters to me that they want. I think it worries me. The FICE thing does worry me because it implies a short-sightedness. Obama also wants to keep the CIA operating prisons around the world. You know what? That's stupid, and it hurts our CIA's ability to do what they need to be able to do. John McCain is the one who says he's going to stop doing signing statements, and Obama says he's still going to do those. With stuff like that, it's not the most important thing in the world. It doesn't mean that Obama shouldn't be president, but it means that I don't have rose-colored glasses on about the prospect of an Obama presidency. That said, the threat of a John McCain presidency is truly terrifying.
I'm hopeful about what I see as a seismic shift in the way this country thinks about politics and foreign affairs. When I talk to young students, I hear them talking about Iran. I hear them talking about Iraq. I think we've got a group of young people who are inspired and who are involved and who are aware on a level that I don't remember being at when I was their age. And I think in general, you've got a populace that, think about it in the last couple of weeks, how many times in a bar, at a dinner table, you started talking about politics. That didn't happen 5 years ago. It didn't happen 10 years ago. And I think Barack Obama is a part of that. And I think it has to be said that he is making politics cool again. And that is inspiring young people, and is bringing the music scene into it, and it's pushing Hollywood, and it's pushing our entire culture to think more about being involved. And I think that's what ultimately gives me hope. And I think McCain plays a part in that too. But this entire groundswell of involvement is I think really inspiring me.
Well, I'm hopeful that because both of you are leading the conversations, and I thank you, and it feels great, and please do it even when it's hard. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.